Yeah, good afternoon and welcome to HealthierLife.tv. My name's Paul Bursey, and today, let's tell you about HealthierLife.tv first. HealthierLife.tv wants to inspire people of all ages to live a life of complete health and wellness through education and information. We cover all aspects of health and wellness, sports and fitness. And we also are on a Wednesday afternoon with the sports angle. Sorry, the health angle to do with sports. Anyway, yes, today's episode was going to be revive your sex drive, but unfortunately I need to go and complete some research first before I can present that one. So I can see the irony in that one. Anyway, so today's subject is, what is the critical inner voice? Okay, and basically, no, that is not the name of it, actually. I've got to have a look because I've done it wrong. It's steps to overcome your critical inner voice. So, again, we all suffer from this, some a lot, some a bit. So let's see if we can learn something about it. Well, what I'd like to say, though, first of all, is it's absolutely huge, this subject. But if you think about it, how many bits of information that your mind has to think about during a day, and that's without the bits that you say to yourself. So what is the critical inner voice? Well, it's made up of a series of negative thoughts and attitudes towards yourself, me as well, and others, which at its core is both hostile and cynical. Now you think, well, that's a bit over the top. Well, pay a bit more attention to it and find out and see if you can agree. So anyway, big thing, does it support harmony and contentment and peacefulness and things like that? And as I say, being calm, not normally, no. Now, if you're well aware of this, you can turn it to your advantage, but we'll talk about that a bit later. It limits and affects your attitude and your beliefs. And just before I started, I also wrote something else down. I just want to, it's only a couple of words. One is self-image and the other is self-esteem. Now, think of it this way. You're in front of the mirror, as we all do, or most people do, and they pick holes in how they look, or how they think they look, or how they think others see them. And that adds to the unheard voice that's inside between here, that's telling you how bad you are, how ugly you are, I'm not good looking, whatever it is that you say to yourself. And there's 1,000,001 things that you do. So it affects so much of your life. Okay. So the critical inner voice is where your negativity remains. Your negative self life is all held up there, really. And for some, as I say, it can be really, really positive, and others it can be horrendous. Okay, so now it's closely associated with outward, or things like outward anger, sadness, shame, and it could be about specific areas in your life. It could be that it could be just how you look that you're not happy with, that it really centers on what you're saying. It could affect absolutely everything. Okay, it could affect your relationships. It depends on where you are in your life and what most of what you think about, and that's what controls it. Is it natural to do this? Not really, no. But I suppose we when we're little kids, it gets changed over time. It gets changed over time by, when we're kids, as what we see, what we're exposed to, what we listen to. So it goes from being, in a way, unnatural to being the norm. And that's where the problems lie. It's a learned process. Okay. Now, as I said to you before, we can learn to turn it around. So it's not all doom and gloom, although it may sound like doom and gloom in the beginning. We attack ourselves on a regular basis, saying things like, I am stupid. Now, you might think I'm stupid. I'm not saying that just about me, but, you know, I am stupid. When you drop something, you might go, you idiot. Okay. Or I am an idiot or something like that. I am a failure is a classic one. Nobody loves me. Okay. Now, enough about me. No, I'm only joking. Look, the bottom line is it logical? Of course not. It's illogical. Most of what we're talking about, all of the stuff that we, mull over in our brain. Now, it's basically an internal communication between you and you. Okay, there isn't anybody else involved. It's you and you. It can be absolutely deadly. Right. So again, you're running a permanent commentary. It's like watching a sports event where there's a commentary going on, but your life is like that from the. I would say not when you're asleep. I can't answer for that. I don't really know too much about what goes on when you're asleep, but definitely in the hours of consciousness, which is normally around about 16, 17 hours a day, there is this commentary going on, this dialogue, this narrative that is going on. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Mainly it's on the negative side, as I say. It's pessimistic in nature. And you become your own doom monger, okay, if you allow it to take hold. Now, some people are very good at this. You tend to find that the people who do a lot of personal development don't suffer from this very much at all. If they are consistent and persistent in following some personal development on quite a reasonable scale. Now, a lot of people don't get involved in personal development, and I think that's probably where some of the problems lie. Okay, so what have I just wrote a couple of bits down here. Question: why do you tolerate it? Same could be the question for me as well. Why do you tolerate it so readily? You know, only you can answer that. You know, it's plain gloomy drives self-doubt, worry, fear. You know, and also if you lack money, you're maybe saying the wrong things to yourself to improve things. If you're in sports, again, you could be saying to you, "Oh, that was a rubbish shot." If I'm like playing soccer, football, that was a rubbish shot. You kept saying over and over again. Every time you did something wrong, you were, you know, having a go at yourself. And you know, when I use this in, let me little story. When I was aged, I started playing football when I was about 8. I realised, although I was fit, as you normally are at 8, because you run around like a headless chicken, but I realised I wasn't skillful enough. I knew it. Okay, so from the age of, when would it be? When did I move? Yeah, probably from the age of about 10 till 12, maybe 9.5 to 12, something like that. I used to practice football every night over this pitch black sports field in a school, which is about 100 yards from my house. Luckily, there was some light coming from a gas station, petrol garage, that lit up, and there was goals with nets and things like that. And I used to practice 2 hours a night. Okay, and within the 2 years, I turned myself into being prepared for a professional trial. And that at 12, I had a professional trial for Chelsea. Didn't actually make it, but I was quite pleased that I'd taken rapid strides. Now, during those 2 years, do you think I once said to myself, I can't do this. I can't volley the ball. I can't half volley the ball, which is bounce and then kick it. I can't head the ball. No, I didn't. Not once. Probably because I was young. Probably I didn't know any better. So it was all sort of positive stuff that was going in there. And it shows the dramatic effect it had by not letting that rubbish go on inside your head. Okay. As you get a little bit older, I don't know when it starts kicking in. I couldn't tell you. I know it starts seeping in from quite an early age if you're in a type of environment that rubs off on the wrong way. Okay. Now, my environment was always pretty good, and I only got a few whacks from mum, but dad would never hit me, and life was good at home. So I, absolutely no complaints. Bit more negative when you go to school, isn't it? But so yeah, I don't know when it sets in. It will set in for different times for everybody. But all I do know is at my age now, it's not too bad actually. But I remember times when I used to really crucify myself, about some of the things I was doing and getting up to, and probably to a certain extent, I probably deserved it. Okay. But when you do personal development, you do tend to get a grip on reality and start saying the right things to yourself. On occasions, I'll drop something and say, "You idiot." Yeah. But they're few and far between now. Okay. Okay. So, the critical inner voice that you have can lead to some really, really harsh criticism. And this harsh criticism that we want to get away from. This self recriminations. Those are very, very important if you want to move forward in life, especially if you're at work and you want promotion, and you've got to go in front of a promotion panel or board, or go on an interview. If you're doing exams, if you're doing any kind of sport to a reasonable standard, or getting fit down the gym, that's another reason for having a personal trainer. Okay, because they're going to say positive things to you most of the time, unless you need to hear something maybe a little slightly negative. Okay, it can go so bad in some instances that it can become hatred of what goes on between your ears. Okay, enough of the doom and gloom. Enough about my life, I see. Right. Okay, but we don't want a negative feeding frenzy, so we've got to do certain things. And where does it originate from, though? And it has to be childhood. I can't see any other way. And it just gets added upon. It's like layer upon layer upon layer. Okay, a bit like an onion, a bit like Shrek. Remember that when he says ogres are like onions, got lots of layers. Well, this is the reverse thing. This inner critic has got lots of layers on top of each other, and you need to start peeling them away. So, okay, so it obviously goes on in the bonding time. When you're bonding with your parents, bonding with new friends as a kid, and it just goes on into your adult life. Because we are extremely perceptive beings. Even young, as very, very young, we pick up on things. And the classic example really is swearing, or smoking, taking drugs. We do bad things sometimes. I have to say, I've never taken drugs. I had about 10 cigarettes in my life. Never took a drag down. But you realise it's not good. Okay, but hey, if you smoke, good luck. Okay, so the core negative beliefs that affect this go from generation to generation. And a classic example of that will be racism. If dad is a racist and he's constantly saying some things in front of his kid, what do you think his son or daughter are going to turn out like? Okay, because very, very environment is everything. Okay, so this CIV, as I call it, this the critical voice inside, can be seductive as well. So you may not think it's that bad, okay, because you could sit there arguing with it, but believe me, it is. It's like throwing dirt in a carburetor. You wouldn't do it. So why do it in your brain? Right? Why do it? Mess around with your mind. Okay. So how do we get rid of it? That's the most important thing, isn't it? Because most of us have got it. So first of all, you have to identify it. That's very, very important. And what is your critical inner voice saying to you? Okay, it could be good, but on most occasions it's not. So in order to challenge these negative attacks, you must first become aware of what your CIV is telling you. Okay, this inner voice, this critic. You can do this by identifying what goes on in your life. Okay, whether it's a specific, as I said to you before, whether it's a specific area, it could be just one thing. You might be just getting problems at school, for argument's sake. You might be getting bullied at school, or you may be struggling with lessons and you've not really told anyone, and it just becomes this big mental monster. So you keep saying to yourself, I'm crap at school, I can't learn, and all that. Well, you can, trust me. Okay, but you have to learn to say the right things to yourself and be around the right people. So stop being critical of yourself. As I say, we all do it. Pay attention to what the criticisms are, the words that you're saying or mumbling in, between your ears. Very, very important. Okay. So as you discover what the self-attacks are, it's valuable to say them in the second person. So instead of saying, I feel lazy, switch it round slightly, because you're not going to do it overnight, to you are lazy. Okay. And you will notice the tone, the hostility of how it's being said or how you think it's being received. And then once you send it to the second person rather than the first person, you're more liable to take the 10,000 foot view and take a look at it and try and work it out properly. The second thing is recognizing where your voices are come from. Okay. Now, so I'm not going to get all sort of weird and do psychology stuff here. So, after you verbalize that critical inner voice into the second person, you'll get some insights and get an idea of where the criticism, where the attack's coming from. Is it being put into your brain by someone else or the environment or whatever? Or are you doing it all yourself, which is quite possible. Okay, you must recognize the content of that criticism or the negative influence. You have to, as I said, listen to the tone as well. Is it the old? Is it the familiar? Is it what you're used to? Anyway, that's one thing. Is it something your dad used to say to you? Oh no, my dad wouldn't say that. Well, just have a think about it. You might look. Sometimes people don't even realise that they're giving negative stuff out. It could be something your mother done. It could be, as I say, at school. It could be teachers. Could be. You could have a mate, and you could be going around someone else's house, and it could be their parents that could be doing it. Okay, so just so you know where it's coming from, so you can identify it. It's very, very important. Recognition and understanding of how it's going about, how it's happening, and who's doing it, or who did it, I should say, will help you develop compassion for yourself. All right. Now, obviously, what you've got to be is gentle with yourself. I tried to turn it around. Like I remember, when I said you drop something, you say, "Oh, you idiot," and all that type of thing. I tried to turn it round slightly, put a smile on my face, and just say, "So what? I'm clumsy." How does that sound to you, idiot? It's a lot different, isn't it? So yeah, I'm just clumsy. I don't mind. I can imagine, when I bring my porridge up in the mornings, sometimes I spill it. So before I come up the stairs, because I'm in a tray and things like that, I just say to myself, "Safe journey, clean, safe journey," or something similar, so that I don't spill it. Because you have to come back and clean it up, don't you? So someone else doesn't slip on it. Or anyway, try with wooden stairs. You see, if you had carpet, you wouldn't have that problem. It would get dirty, but you wouldn't have the problem. So now, okay. So what else have we got? Some of this stuff could be really, really deep-seated, and if it really, really is deep-seated, go and get some help. Talk to someone. Okay, there's plenty of people out there can help you. We need to eliminate it, but it may be that the elimination is gradual. Okay, so that's another thing. So we need to, so the third thing was answer back, and attack it in a way, in a positive way. The fourth thing is understanding how your voices influence your behavior. Now, this is huge, okay? These voices can actually control, within reason, what you do on a day-to-day basis. If you say to yourself, here's another example, I'm always late. Have you ever said that to yourself? I think I'm so rarely late, it becomes boring. And the reason being is because I know that I used to be late a lot, but I'm not anymore. So how did I do that? All I did was change the voice in my head, saying I'm always on time, and left earlier. Okay, leave yourself room for things to go wrong as well. So, so you hear the voice, and after expressing and responding to the voice, you'll be curious and eager to understand how these patterns of self-defeating thoughts have influenced your past and how they impact your present and your future. Okay? If you learn now, if you do something about it now, it's not going to be devastating. It's going to be, you're going to ease it out and push it out slowly. Personal development has to be the way. Okay? Activity. Productive activity, not just activity, but productive activity. You know, I'm training at the moment. I'm a football referee, a soccer referee, and you got the levels. Now, because I'm older, I'm only really going to go to the next one, you know, and that is all down to doing a fitness test. So the training I'm doing at the moment is related to the fitness test. Now, can you imagine me running around going, I'm really slow, I'm aching, I'm not going to make it, okay, I'm not fit enough? No, I've been saying the complete opposite as I'm going around. I do actually feel good. It's probably the fittest I've been for refereeing at this stage of the season. Now, admittedly, we're starting the season late, but it is working. It's you know, it's so rare now I actually say anything negative in my mind. There's a couple of areas I've got to work on, but okay. So we need to change our self-limiting beliefs. And you know, do they affect you? Yeah, absolutely. You better believe they do. And that's the reason why. They will stunt your growth. Okay, and that's the other thing. So I learned it through football. I learned it through practice, training, running, athletics, running marathons, running half marathons, and in the police, you definitely couldn't say anything negative to yourself. You know, you had to know what you were doing. You had to be confident. This is my eyes. You had to be bold. You had to be powerful, and you had to deal with things. Never, you know, you got to know when to back off with a smile, which was rare, but sometimes you had to. Okay, so, and my phone's just going. Let me just stop that because I thought I turned it off, but okay. Okay, just a couple of things now, and we've got to change our self-limiting behaviour. It's as simple as that, and that's what we're telling ourselves inside our brain. 2 actions, and I'm going to read these to make sure I get them absolutely spot on. All right, not engaging in self-destructive behaviour, encouraged by your critical inner voice, and increasing the positive behaviours that go against the recommendations of your voice. Okay. Is it easy? No, it's not. It's hard. It's going to take work. With change will come anxiety. It's not all going to go your way early on. You know, when you challenge your negative attacks, the attacks may become stronger and more intense. Okay. So you've got to be comfortable living with them, knowing that they're improving and going. Okay. Last little bit now. These attacks are not your friend. Okay. The negative influences inside here are not your friend, and they're keeping you from winning. whatever it means to you. Okay. And you won't feel lonely and scared without them, because some people, they may be lonely and they may be the only voice they think they hear, or or can listen to. The critical inner voice does not keep you in line. All right, it's as simple as that. And you must not listen to them. You mustn't act on them. They're normally very false. Okay. The more you act against the CIV, the critical inner voice, the weaker the influence the CIV has on your life. Okay. Stick with it, stick it out, follow the steps, and you will be able to achieve your goals much quicker, or get the improvement, or get that promotion, or whatever it is you're doing. You've got to live free from imagined limitations, and that's what they are. They're in your they're in your mind. Okay. So there was one other thing as well. Yeah, they're also demeaning and destructive. That was the other thing I remember saying. I remember reading. So, if you need help with this, come and talk to me. All right. But I've enjoyed doing this subject because it's something that obviously I suffered from, still a little bit suffer, but not much. And I know the devastating effects they can have, and it can send you batty, right? Send you around the bend, some of this stuff that you're spewing into your mind. So anyway, you have a fantastic day. I wish you all the success you're willing to work towards, or whatever it is you want to do, happiness, peace, contentment. If you found this useful, please share it with someone you think may need it. All right. Please like the page, and please comment. That's the other thing as well. So I look forward to speaking to you soon, and have a great day.